Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Ocean Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 12, 2024. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper posted on public bulletin boards in the Township website.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilman Albany.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilman Feynman.
Here.
Councilwoman Travers.
Here.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Present.
President Minikino. Thank you.
Please rise. Follow me in the salute to the flag. A moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the September 23rd meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feynman.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can move on to the consent agenda, section 4.
Please note that all matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. 4.1.
Recognize Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October 2024.
Councilwoman Travers.
Thank you. This resolution recognizes October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer among U.S. women, contributing to about 30% of newly diagnosed cancers. All residents are encouraged to familiarize themselves with the risk factors and symptoms of the disease, knowing that when breast cancer is caught early, treatments work best and survival rates increase. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.2.
Authorize acceptance of best practice inventory.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the acceptance of the Township's best practice inventory as required annually by the state. Thank you.
Thank you. 4.3.
Authorize award of contract for Peterbilt parts, supplies, and repairs.
Councilman Feynman.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the award of contract with Peterbilt Parts, Supplies, and Repairs, Partsburg, with a labor rate of $195 per hour and a 25% discount on parts. Bid notices were provided to 11 prospective bidders and 2 requested bid packages. 1 bid was received. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.4.
Authorize award of contract for STEP parts, supplies, and repairs.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes a contract with W.E. Timmerman Company, White House, at a labor rate of $184 per hour for parts. Bid notices were mailed to 3 prospective bidders from our bidders list and 2 requested bid packages. 1 bid was received. This will be a 2-year contract ending October 13, 2026. To date, we have spent approximately $19,000 during the current contract period. Funding for this contract will be included in the vehicle maintenance operating budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.5.
Authorize award of contract for redundant dispatch console infrastructure.
Councilman Albanese.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the award of contract in the amount of $85,772.80 PNC Wireless, Hazlet, for redundant off-site dispatch radio console connection for the police department. This contract is being awarded to the state of New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Program.
Thank you. Item 4.6.
Authorize award of contract for Township dredging and marsh restoration.
I'll read this. This resolution authorizes the award of contract in the amount of $2,456,375 with mobile dredging and video pipe of Chester, PA, as part of the Brick Township Dredging and Marsh Restoration Program. The project generally consists of year 1 of a 2-year hydraulic dredging operation in Brick Township with placement of materials in Brick Area A, which is the marsh north of Maniloking Road, for restoration purposes. Bid notices were provided to 51 prospective bidders from our bidders list, 13 requested bid packages. 2 bids were received with mobile dredging and video pipe being the lowest responsible bidder. Item 4.7.
Authorize shared service agreement with Ocean County paving of portions of Blue Cedar Drive and Bayway.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorized a shared services agreement with Ocean County to enable the completion of a paging project in the township known as Bay Harbor Estates roadway improvements, which includes portions of Blue Cedar Drive and Bayway. The township estimated portion of the project work associated with the improvements is $51,895.78. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.8.
Authorize shared service agreement with Ocean County Recycling Center use and revenue sharing.
Councilwoman Travers.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes a shared service agreement with Ocean County to utilize its facilities to provide uninterrupted use of the county recycling center. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.9.
Authorize shared service agreement with Ocean County Leaf and Vegetative Waste Composting Program.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the renewal of the Vegetative Waste Composting Program Shared Services Agreement with the County of Ocean. The agreement is for a 5-year period commencing January 1st, 2025. State law requires municipalities to provide a system for the collection of leaves generated from the residential premises and also requires that each county provide composting facilities for each municipality in the county. As required, the township monitors the materials collected to ensure it is free from any other waste and it is strictly residential vegetative waste. And I just wanted to point out for the last one for the Ocean County Recycling Center, I do want to point out that the STEM students from Brick Township and Brick Memorial, we're pairing with them along with our DPW to put together a program that will go out to the community about recycling rules and ways that we can help with recycling, because there's been a little bit of a drop in recycling in the township, and we thought this was a great way to pair up with the STEM students. So looking forward to do that, and I will keep people posted as we move along with that project.
Thank you.
4.10. Bond release.
410A is an inspection fund release for Block 842, Lot 22. And 10B is a performance bond release for Block 90122, Lot 10, 1101, and 12.
Thank you. 4.11.
411A, 100% DAV widow, a veteran deduction of Block 1313.01, Lot 13.
Thank you very much. That is the end of the consent agenda. Is there a motion and a second on the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council for questions. Seeing none, open to public for questions on these resolutions only. Spinell. You don't.
I'm back. Did you miss me?
Yeah.
I was in North Carolina and Northeast Tennessee. I'm lucky to be back. 2 quick questions. On number 3, I think I heard you say that you only got 2 bids back on the truck parts and labor. $195 an hour seems high to me. Does anybody know what we were paying before this contract? If you break $195, that run it out, that on a 40-hour week, that's $7,800, and on a 52-week year, it comes out to $405,000. It sounds like the markup is probably 400% on labor. Is that the best we can do, or we stuck with it, or what?
Ms. Bergen, do you know what the first question was, what we were paying previously?
Yeah.
I don't know, and it's not included in the purchasing memo, but I could certainly look that up and get back to Mr. Benelli. We go through the public bidding process to get the most competitive pricing by law. That's what we have to do. So we're satisfied with the labor rate and the discount on parts.
Okay. It seems kind of high, $195 an hour.
Well, it's Peterbilt, so it's big pieces of equipment.
Okay. And my other question, on question 6, the dredging and marsh restoration. What are we dredging? The marina? Is that where the dredging is going on?
Oh, that's where we're starting, yes.
That's most of the dredging?
That we're going to be dredging the marina to start, and the area right behind Forsyth Refuge is where we're going to be placing the marsh sediment.
Okay.
Kind of restore that area. And there's lots and lots of lagoons all over town that many of the property owners have expressed interest in dredging. So we'll be working with them as time goes on.
But you're not funding that?
The grant is funding that. The grant is funding the marshland restoration. The dredge is separate and apart from the marshland restoration. That is typically assessed to the people on.
How much of this is a grant?
$5 million.
Oh, it's covering the whole 2.4?
It is.
Isn't that nice? Doesn't say that. Okay, but if you do lagoons, private lagoons, you're still doing that with grant money? Because
No,
the last time you did that, you charged everybody on the lagoon.
That's correct. They were assessed, and we will continue to follow that practice for the individual private lagoons.
Okay. One other question. Now that it's a grant, it really doesn't matter, but I'm just curious. We never talk about the marina and does it make money? Does it make money? If so, how much?
So it does make money if you take separate and apart the debt. So it makes money from a functional, operational, day-to-day, what you come in versus what it costs you. But if you start factoring in the debt, that
Well, you gotta pay back what you borrow.
was the acquisition and then continued change in plans. Before we had a marina, it was going to be private development. It was going to be a water park. It was going to be all kinds of things. So the plans kept changing. And then, of course, it was completely destroyed when Sandy hit and had to be rebuilt. So when you take in the debt service, no, it's not in a position where it's making money yet. But if you take that out and you look at it functionally from revenue in, expenses out, it does make money.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions from public on these resolutions only? Mr. Sluka.
John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. Just explain this recycling a little bit more. What happened was, I think last time, a while back, we were told the recycling had a high percentage of spoiled recycling. Is this STEM program, along with what the town is doing, going to fix that problem? Or
Yeah. That's the goal. So when I sat down with the teachers who teach that class,
Right.
that was what we talked. Excuse me. That's what we talked about. We said, we have a high rate of people who either aren't recycling, or when they do recycle, there are garbage items in there, so it's rejected. And what kind of education program can we put together with the STEM students to educate the public about how to recycle better?
Okay, 'cause it's really two different problems.
It is two different problems.
One is getting the people to recycle, and the other is,
Yes.
okay, so it is two.
Yep.
Okay. Just thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions from public on these resolutions only? Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Move on to item 412, bill resolutions, computer.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $1,712,560.53.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call. Oh, excuse me. Open to council. Any questions on the computer bill resolution? Seeing none, open to public for any questions on the computer bill resolution. Seeing none, roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
413 is the manual bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $2,015,952.68.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Open to council for questions on the manual bill resolution. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the manual bill resolution. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5, an ordinance on first reading. Just a reminder, there's no public comment on first reading. 5-1.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code, Chapter 329, entitled Registration of Foreclosure, Mortgages, and Vacant Property.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. In 2018, the township began a process for the registration of vacant and abandoned properties in the township. In August 2021, the township amended the foreclosed and vacant property ordinance to better define what qualifies as a vacant or abandoned property. This amendment clarifies the annual registration fee of $500. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council for questions. Seeing none, roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feynman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 6.
Oh, sorry.
6-1.
Bond ordinance providing for the acquisition and purchase of real property for open space preservation purposes by and in the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $930,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $883,500 in bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. Mayor Craig.
Thank you. The Mayor's Open Space Savers Committee has recommended the acquisition of the currently vacant lands located at 2416 Hooper Avenue in the amount of $930,000 for open space and conservation purposes. The township had advised the NJDEP Green Acres program of the acquisition and expects to receive funding to help offset the acquisition costs.
Thanks. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Open to council for questions on this ordinance. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on this ordinance. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feynman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes. Item 6-2.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code of the Township of Brick in Chapter 324 entitled Peddling and Soliciting.
Thank you. The township currently offers 2 types of mobile food truck licenses. There's a Class 1 and a Class 2. This ordinance modifies the amount of time that Class 2 license holders can stay at any one location to up to 6 hours. The current regulation is 2 hours. So we're increasing the time that the food truck can stay there. This ordinance comes at the recommendation from the Council's Business and Finance Committee. Is there a motion on this ordinance?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Open to council for questions. Open to public for questions on this. Seeing none, close public and roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feynman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now move on to public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Mr. Sluka.
I'm going to read my, John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. I'm going to read my note, but about a month ago, the mayor, business administrator, a few of the residents met with the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, and I was unable to attend that day. I was unable to attend a couple of days. But anyway, they had the meeting and stuff like this. I didn't get to hear a lot of the information. Hopefully we'll get to hear some of the information in the council minute time and stuff like that. Especially since there's like a 12-mile stretch of roadway they call the lane that turns into an exit. And it goes into Brick Township, and it's still in the exact same place. Now it's closer to where Evergreen Woods was before. Now my letter, October 7th. That wrote to the mayor and the council and anybody that's willing to listen. The Garden State Parkway widening into exit interchange 91. There's problems all over the place, but that was where it all started from. The residents living in Evergreen Woods knew the project would negatively impact them, and they spoke up before it happened. And the standard of living was worse, and their health has deteriorated since then. Part of the improvement of the roadway included creating the drainage basin in the middle of the roadway, which was the median. It was all trees and stuff like that. It put drainage basin in an area where it wasn't needed. And the whole thing was clear cut, and the result, the homes of Evergreen Woods have been open to the noise and pollution from cars traveling in both directions, not just one direction. Residents have advocated for a sound wall to mitigate the added sound and exhaust smoke coming from the Garden State Parkway. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority still needs to correct this situation, even though they had this meeting, and they've had many meetings, and they really haven't taken care of the problem yet. Only through constant pressure from the press and elected and non-elected officials
residents of Evergreen Woods Condom Complex, Primrose Gardens, Greenbrier Senior Residential Areas, Birchwood, Berry Mill, Brick High, Town Hall, Lanes Middle School, and other areas in Brick and Ocean County will be able to breathe fresh air again. The ill effects of those tiny particulates impact us all. They bother you with many different kind of cancers, heart ailments, and things of that nature. So the air goes into our lungs from the Garden State Parkway, cause bedridden lives, which people have, premature deaths to many of us, and the seniors and our children are waiting at the bus stops and the playgrounds really get no help. Thanks for your time. I yield back whatever it is.
Thank you, Mr. Saluka. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I guess this is not on.
Yeah.
Okay, I have not done public comment before. I think I just give my name and address.
Sure.
Marianne Galata, and I live at 17 Liverpool Road. I am a resident of Brick, but also the chair of the Brick Open Space Savers Committee. And we are a citizens advisory group that is responsible for making the recommendations of open space properties to the Township Mayor and Council. I just, tonight, on behalf of BOSS, I want to thank Mayor and Council for a stellar commitment to open space preservation in this community. And your foresight on this issue is going to be rewarded manyfold for current Brick residents and future. So I just want to say, keep up the good work. Also, to report on a just fabulous pickup brick event we had at the newly preserved Brenton Woods property, 30 acres down near Maniloking Road. And we hauled out over a ton of trash on a rainy day, and just talk about events that really bring the community together and make Brick a great place to live. So thank you for letting me talk about the work we're doing, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Is there anybody else from public? Mr. Pinell.
Sorry if I'm a little stuttering. Never had to do this before. Hi, my name is Spencer. I live at 413 Greenwood Lane in Brick. So the other day, I was driving home. I was greeted by a guy named Pablo from your district. He gave me a violation for section 267-8, parking of vehicles on the lawns. I don't know if you guys are really familiar with Greenwood Lane. It's used as a cut through right off of Manilokin Road. Constant traffic. I have so many problems with that road. Obviously, I've been a resident there for about 5 years now. Everybody on my road has the same problem. People absolutely fly down that road. It's been asked that speed bumps put in, a street light put in, anything. Nothing's been done as far as I've known. Again, I've been a more recent resident, over 5 years. Most people on that street have been there 15 years plus. The reason why I'm here is I got this violation issued for a parking vehicle on lawn. Never even knew that was a thing. Kind of, in my opinion, a silly thing. But the point of why I'm here is he doesn't want me. This gentleman told me that I can't park my vehicles with 4 tires touching the lawn. If anybody were to park their vehicle halfway where 2 tires are touching the pavement, which is what I was told is the legal way to do it, and somebody does it on the other side, there is no possible way for somebody to go down any street, let alone such a busy street as a cut through that Greenwood Lane is. So I simply asked the guy, and I'm not trying to be a jerk way, saying, hey, if my vehicle gets hit, are you going to pay for it since you're the one that issued the summons? He goes, well, of course not. I said, well, I don't expect you to, but to expect me to put my vehicle and my family, I have 2 young kids. We all have young kids actually on that street that people fly down at a way over the speed limit rate. And that's what we're going around giving people summons for and wasting our time for. I just kind of didn't understand. So he basically told me that I could come here and express what's going on, express my issues with it, and go from there.
Thank you.
Are you familiar with this?
Yes, I'm very familiar with this as I am involved in code enforcement. So it is a code of the Township of Brick.
Gotcha.
Parking on lawns is not permitted. there is an alternative where you can submit an engineering permit to make a portion of your lawn an official driveway, and you can park there.
Yeah.
Absent of that, you can't park on the lawn. And we don't go around looking for these things. They generally come as a result of a complaint. So everybody thinks it's all fine with everybody, but you don't know who's calling and what they're calling about. So it's not allowed.
Right.
So he was well within his rights to tell you that and to try to work with you on an alternative.
Right.
The only one you didn't mention was to get an engineering permit to create a part of your lawn and make it a driveway.
So he did mention that basically I could do that. The several issues that I have is one, this was because it needs to be fixed in a week.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody thinks that they can do that and get that stuff fixed in a week, I would love to see it. I'm a contractor myself. Things don't go that fast. I'm sure the permits won't even get completed by that time, number one. Number two is I've taken several pictures. I invite anybody here to go down and take a drive. If it's anything, I'm also here to find out more information. Is it a safety concern? Is it a look concern? Because if that's the case, there are more than one vehicle that are literally parked on my street that are parked legally because two tires are touching the pavement, but that have not moved in well over 10, 15 years, have animals and rodents growing in them. So if somebody is filing complaints on that the vehicles don't look nice parked on the grass, or if it's a safety concern, I'm also here to try to find out what this violation, why is it the way that it is? Because if it's a looks thing, there's a lot of the things that are going on with the street not looking the way that it should, and way bigger safety concerns than parking a vehicle on grass.
So you're welcome to call code enforcement 262-1033 to report any of these violations that you're mentioning. That's the proper channel.
But it wouldn't be a violation because technically two of his tires, although being flat and not drivable, are on pavement.
You talked about unregistered and inoperable vehicles. So anything you see that you think is a code enforcement violation, please call code enforcement. They'll check it out, and if it is a violation, they'll address it.
Okay.
No, we don't expect you to construct a driveway, but your street allows parking. You're just choosing not to park there, so you can comply.
Not safely though, ma'am. It does not. There is no safe parking on that street. That's the issue. If it was safe,
we'll ask traffic safety to take a look at making some safety suggestions. But until there is an ordinance that says you cannot park on the street, an alternative for you is to park on the street. If you fill out an engineering permit, that's what I would say to Pablo. I filled out the permit, it's downstairs being reviewed, and then he'd give you an extension.
Gotcha.
So there's something that you can and should be doing to address the violation.
Okay, and is there somebody, I guess, just higher up than you that I can go and, I guess, continue to, what was that? Oh, okay, that's fine. Like I said, I apologize. This is my first time doing this, so I don't know. Yeah, no, that's fine. Like I said, I respect the violation and all that, and the guy was very respectful that came to me and explained to me the violation and all that. I have no issue with that. That's why I'm here peacefully trying to get to the bottom of this. I guess I was still trying, why is this, is there a reason why this is park on the grass? Is it a safety? Is it
this is in the state's International Property Maintenance Code adopted by the state of New Jersey that each municipality adopts as its own. Okay. So this is a state regulation that we've adopted as part of our property maintenance code.
Mm. All right. And just so we are clear, the township, because I know that I'm not the only one that's been from the street, are you the one that needs to speak to as well to go over getting further? Because they've tried to get, I guess, law enforcement to be there. But because there's no signage that says no cut through allowed, that's what I've been told, because it says no cut through allowed.
There's no such law.
Right.
No
so they're putting
it's a public street.
Right.
So even if it's bothersome and upsetting to people, people are allowed to cut through. You're allowed to drive on the street.
That's fine. But what I'm saying is, so then putting a police officer there, even putting traffic safety there would do nothing, because they would just say, well, I'm allowed to cut through here. And there's that's really not ever going to happen then, basically.
Well, police can do selective enforcement to check for speeding and aggressive behavior and things like that. But it is a public street, and the public's allowed to use it to get from point A to point B.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Mr. Finelli.
Two things. One, a question for the mayor. The meeting you're having tomorrow on bullying and whatnot. I know you are. You might not answer my question, so I'm not going to take your thing.
No, it's okay.
Do you know if that's going to be videoed and available for people to watch?
So we did, when we sat down originally with Dr. Farrell and Sue McNamara, that we did talk about filming. It's really up to the school district. My guess is that we ended with it should be filmed so that we could put it out there, but I don't know what their final call was on that, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to talk to them.
We coordinated, but it's on their property and they have that ability.
You would like it to be videoed?
Yeah, and we discussed that at the initial planning meeting,
I'll
yeah.
call him tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you. He loves me.
I'm sorry, we had a lot of back and forth, but the filming was the first day and then
Yeah, I would be curious,
Yeah.
but I can't make the meeting, but I like to watch it. Since I go to the school board meetings.
Yeah.
It's all into, okay, thank you. Last thing, my favorite subject, taxes. You all got your itemized tax bill this week? Did everybody get it? I'm assuming everybody got it, right?
I haven't.
I got one.
Yeah, oh, you're one of the people I'm gonna talk to. Well, just because you got it doesn't mean you looked at it. Or you looked at it, you understand it. And every year we talk about, well, the average house in brick is 280,000 and the average increase, and we're only one little thing of that. So I just like to go over very briefly what the tax bill for the residents of Brick is this year, and mine particular. The county tax went up 4%. The library tax, even though it's a small number, went up 13%. The county health tax, which I have no idea, maybe somebody can tell me what that is.
County.
Yeah, but we're paying for their health benefits?
No, the health department.
The health department? Okay, that's a small number, but that went up 17%. And I get the feeling that anything that has to do with health or prescriptions or anything else is going through the roof again. Don't believe what they're telling you about the drugs going down, because that's not true. The county open space went up 5%. The school tax went up 6%. The only thing that didn't go up was the municipal open space. It stayed the same. The local municipal tax, that's you, went up 4%, and the fire went up 2%. So if you add all those things up, you can't add percentages, but you can take the total of what mine went up. My tax went up 5.2% for the year. That comes out to $1.92 a day, or $702 for the year. So even though you talk about averages all the time, or your little piece of it, the whole picture is everybody in Brick is getting a 5.2% increase in their taxes in 1 year, because everybody in there, except one thing, went up. End of story. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Valley. Anyone else from public? Mr. Bacon.
My name is Charlie Bacon. I live at 366 Rancocas Drive. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and Administration. At the September 10th meeting, unfortunately, I couldn't attend. There was some public comment made about red lights, the cameras, and incidents at intersections. In particular, I think some of the focus was at Post Road and 88. So what I thought I would do is discuss a little bit about a day in the life of Charlie Bacon. I work in Silverton. 6.3 miles of my drive is in Brick. So I'm going to describe a typical day, and some of the intersections I'm going to talk about might be both ways, coming home or going down. All right? Let's start off with Post Road. Yesterday, kind of unfortunately, there was an accident at Post Road. So that's one of the things described last week. Route 70, 88, and Princeton. All right, that's the trifecta of an intersection problem. The first one I see on a regular basis is people going through red lights. Some people will even make an attempt to make a left-hand turn there, God bless you. And when I come home, there's a whole different issue, because people get confused. Am I going to Route 88 or down Princeton Avenue? And unfortunately, I live off of Princeton Avenue now, so I get a lot of the people that are not sure which way they should go there. Brick Boulevard and 70 is another area. That happens quite a bit. I especially saw that today. I went to Ocean First Bank on Chambers Bridge. I went home that way. The left-hand turn going onto Brick Boulevard to Toms River. Usually it's not a question of it's a question of how many are going through that lane. All right. Now let's talk about Brick Boulevard in Chambers Bridge Road. 2 people were killed there several months ago. And there was a resequencing of the lights here. So that was a problem that was probably going on for quite a while for the county to make that level of a change on that. Now we're going to go to Brick Boulevard and Cedar Bridge. Well, this was an interesting one. I stopped in the middle lane. There's 3 through traffic lanes there. And I got in the middle lane. The light turned yellow to my left and to my right. Those people decided to go through. And believe me, I can tell you, without any camera or anybody there observing it, they went through solid red. Now we get to Beaverson Boulevard. Here's a fun one. Go there when the school, all the buses are coming. I've actually gone through that intersection completely blocked. People going on to Beaverson Boulevard because you catch the other traffic light there as you go through there, and the intersection is blocked on that one. Coming home, no, it's not blocked. They're just going through red lights there. Now let's get to Molly Lane and Brick Boulevard. Another fun place here. Red lights and blocking the intersection. All right. So what I'm going to offer to the council, anybody who wants to ride with me, I'll take you for a ride along. I can talk about grade levels of intersections. I can talk about all sorts of things on my ride down here and coming back, and other dangers around this town. I used to live off on Field Road. That intersection was fun too, when people were blowing lights at Herbertsville because of the gap between Lanes Mill and Field Road on that. Now, there was a couple other things that were mentioned in that meeting. I apologize I couldn't make it, so I have to take what I saw in the social media. And there was talks in particular about a pilot program. Mr. Starkey, you talked about that. And you talked about what I thought a lot of it was political. But there's other elements of that light and how it came to fruition. And I think that should get back into the public if we're going to talk about the piece that you concentrated on. First of all, the traffic light problem has been a chronic problem. I think the pilot program came through New Jersey around 2009. It lasted 5 years. It actually ended at the end of 2014. The police department supported that program. In addition, I'm sure the insurance company, the medical industry, and everyone else supported that too. And by the way, there was nobody in that when that ordinance was passed to object to it. Okay? The other thing that is an important point to mention about Mayor Ducey and when he turned it off, and I think it went dark, because as you pointed out, it was a platform issue, and it went dark in February 14. It was a pilot program. It was going to end at the end of November. Okay? The former BA and CFO told him not to do that. All right? If it's okay, I'd like to continue. The police also used those cameras to solve problems. The other thing that happened there too was the side benefit of the elimination of the T-bone accidents, or the reduction of them, is only summons were issued if all 4 tires were across the white line. Okay, and that was the criteria. The other fact that also should be brought up into the public, 75% of those violations were people from out of town with signs there that said it's photo enforced. So I just wanted to bring some of that into light, and if I can close with this, because you mentioned, I don't know who mentioned about the neighborhood watch. Here's my recommendation, everyone. I do not support issuing tickets. All right, I don't want to be misquoted, or what I was tagged back in 15 about the red lights. I mentioned a PSA should go on Brick Pride, our social media as well, to talk about this is a dangerous thing, obviously. And I think a study should be done with the accidents that happen at these intersections. We have that. They don't need these residents you told to go to see the neighborhood watch officer is not necessary. The timing of the yellow lights, I don't know this. Is that an issue? Maybe they have to be changed. And I think we should work closely with our county and state partners, considering these are state roads, county roads, and we have this issue. Thank you for the extended time. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Mr. Bacon. Anybody else from public? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 8, council comments. Ms. Bergen.
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Craig.
Thank you.
Just a couple of announcements. As we already sort of spoke about, our Strengthening Our Communities program is taking place tomorrow night at Brick Township High School, beginning at 6 p.m. It is in coordination with the Township, our Brick Township Police Department, the school district, as well as the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office. And the goal of the evening is to educate parents and guardians as to what our students are facing right now here in school and throughout, just their general lives. And the topics that are going to be covered are bullying, substance abuse, and mental health issues. And there will be a lot of options for people to access assistance if they need. So tomorrow night we'll have a lot of different venues for you to go through if you think that you'll need assistance, and also that you can take home with you and keep, so that if something arises throughout the year, you know who to contact for help. So we hope to see a lot of people out at that particular program. I do want to remind people that the Visitation Church is offering their community lunch on the 17th of this month. The doors open at 11:30 a.m. and we hope to see you there. Our annual trunk or treat is taking place on Friday, October 18th, beginning at 6 p.m. at the Drum Point Sports Complex. You do have to sign up to attend. I believe there's 3 sessions. You can go through the Recreation Department to do that. And we are in need of candy donations. We have bins here at Town Hall. We have bins at Civic Plaza at the Recreation Department. And I believe the schools are also doing fundraisers where, they have a competition who can donate the most candy. But we really do need candy donations for this year. Yes, people who participate bring their own candy. They certainly do. But with the 3 sessions, I can say over the last, it's thousands of kids come through. And we like to be able to help the people who are helping us make this activity so much fun for the kids by having some candy available for them if they should run out. So if you have a bag of candy or a couple of bags of candy that you'd like to donate, please drop them off here at Town Hall or at Civic Plaza. The next day, we have 2 different events. On October 19th in the morning at 9 a.m., we have our annual beach sweeps. The fall beach sweeps are taking place here in Brick Township at Brick Beach 1 and 3. So if you'd like to join us for that event, we'd love to see you. And after you're done picking up stuff at the beach, you can head on down to Windward for our annual Fall Fest taking place from 1 to 7. And we will have fireworks that evening, lots of food trucks, axe throwing, cornhole tournaments. The schools will be there with various games and prizes and face painting and all the cool stuff that you like to do during Fall Fest. So we hope that you can join us there. And finally, that weekend, on the 19th, we have the PBA is presenting Allie's Army. It's a 5K run or a fun run walk that you can participate in. That begins at 10:30 a.m. at the POW, and then the actual run and walk take place at the Drum Point Sports Complex. This year, Allie's Army and the PBA are working to support Kim O'Brien. She is a young mother who was recently diagnosed with acute, I want to say it the wrong way, so leukemia. And she's got children at home. She's a teacher, and the PBA is looking to support her through Allie's Army. So if you would like to participate, I ask you to go onto the PBA Facebook page. They have a sign up there where you can link in, sign up, or just make a donation, and I'm sure they would love to receive that. So that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Starkey.
I have nothing for friends, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary. Councilman Albanese.
Nothing at this time.
Councilwoman Honorero.
Just very briefly, I wanted to extend my appreciation. I think it was Marion from the, yes, for being here representing the Open Space Savers Committee. The acquisition of this parcel of property located on Hooper, I happen to live at 2347 Hooper, so I'm very familiar with the vacant lands. Because Hooper in that area is, a lot of the houses are not just zoned residential, but also zoned B2, which allows mixed use. I am thrilled to see that that piece of property, which has tons of indigenous wildlife and different plants, and it's still in a condition that we haven't seen for years. So I don't know who located it and pinpointed it as something that we should, and the word that used was invest. That's exactly it. We often run into issues where people will say, oh my God, they're building this huge apartment complex next to us, and the people have already purchased the property. By buying a piece of property at this juncture, we're taking away the possibility of that happening. A lot of people think we should control what businesses go into different properties, but we cannot. The only way and the best way is to do what the mayor and the committee has done. I congratulate all of the members, the citizens who represent our whole town, to advocate for preserving these few and far between treasures of our area. So I appreciate all of your work, and I encourage other residents that this is something that you can do to become involved with your town, to prevent issues from happening that you don't want to see. Proactive. So I appreciate and extend my deepest thanks both to yourself and the members of the committee, as well as to the mayor, for this investment. Thank you. Please.
Thank you. Councilwoman Dion.
Thank you. I just have two very quick things this evening. The first is our senior Halloween party. Reservations are open, so that will be on October 23rd from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Senior Center, and you can call 732-920-8686 to reserve your spot. Call quick because it does fill up. And then also Medicare open enrollment is starting, and you can again call the Senior Center 732-920-8686, and you can start. They're starting to take appointments, and that will start on October 15th and run halfway through December, I believe. So if you want to look at your options for the different Medicare plans, please give the Senior Center a call, and they will be able to guide you through the alphabet maze of that is Medicare. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Feynman.
Thank you, Council President. So first of all, for the record, at the meeting from the Evergreen Woods, I was also there. So I just wanted to recognize that in addition to Ms. Bergen, Mayor Crate, I was also present. I'm sorry that you could not make it, Mr. Saluka. It seemed like a good opportunity, for you to have been there to voice your concerns. I get it. Were you able to status with the other residents who were present for the update? Okay. Well, you guys can. Yeah. I mean, so my take on it, it's obviously not official or anything like that. They're leaning towards that there won't be the building of the wall. I think they're going to potentially do something with some more trees. And I know that sounds like you might not be what you're looking for. It is a start. Yeah, the main takeaway though is that, your letters did not fall upon deaf ears. And we represented, and we were there with the other residents, from Evergreen Woods. So I just want to say thank you, as well as to Mr. Frill and Michelle with one L. I don't know your last name, I apologize. But Michelle with one L I got, right? Okay. And then also, so I wasn't here at the last meeting, but prior to that was the longest table. You guys talked about the longest table?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So it's one of my favorite events. I was lucky enough to meet like a local historian. So that was pretty cool. Told me a little bit about Brick. I also met members of the Women's Club of Brick. I didn't even know that this existed. But what they do, so they provide scholarships each year to female graduates of Brick High School, Brick Memorial High School, and the Ocean County Vocational School. They also sponsor a girl from each high school to attend the Girls Career Institute at Douglas College in New Brunswick. And information for those programs are available at the school guidance offices. The club also donates food and supplies every month to local food pantries. They also handle handmade quilts, blankets, and items of clothing for charities and organizations such as Knit the Rainbow, Hat Not Hate, Dottie's House, and the Brick Senior Center. They also participate in Wreaths Across America. So the Women's Club adopted a cemetery in Brick, and they lay wreaths on the graves of veterans as part of the Wreaths Across America program, which I think is just so impressive and really awesome. So if you want to learn more about it, the website is www.womensclubofbrick.org. So to learn more. Stay safe and have fun. That's all I got.
Thank you. Councilwoman Travers.
I have nothing tonight. Have a good night.
Okay. I'll notify everybody that the next scheduled caucus public meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 20th here at 7 p.m. There being nothing else, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
You missed that one.